Welcome back to the global stage. Today, we're exploring 5 of the most powerful diplomats in history, individuals who changed the world not by leading armies, but by leading conversations. From secret negotiations to global declarations, each of them proved that diplomacy is an art, one that requires vision, restraint, and courage. At the dawn of 19th century Europe, chaos followed Napoleon's downfall, but one man envisioned order: Klemens von Metternich, Austria's foreign minister. He orchestrated the Congress of Vienna in 1815, which redrew Europe's map after years of war. Metternich's concept of balance of power prevented any nation from dominating the continent, a principle that maintained peace in Europe for nearly a century. Critics called him a conservative, but Metternich's diplomacy rooted in stability over revolution. His legacy reminds us that sometimes preserving peace requires defending equilibrium, not ego. Few diplomats define modern power politics like Henry Kissinger. Serving as U.S. National Secretary Advisor and Secretary of State, Kissinger believed diplomacy should be guided by realism, not idealism, a concept known as realpolitik. His secret visit to China in 1971 paved the way for a historic Nixon-Mao meeting, reshaping global alignments during the Cold War. Kissinger's shuttle diplomacy in the Middle East also brought ceasefires and talks where none seemed possible. Though his legacy remains controversial, his mastery of negotiation and timing proved how powerful pragmatic diplomacy can be in moments of global tension. When Dag Hammarskjöld became the second Secretary General of the United Nations, he inherited an organization still defining its role. But under his leadership, the UN became active, moral, and decisive. He established the first UN peacekeeping forces, intervened in crises like the Suez and the Congo, and pushed the boundaries of what diplomacy could achieve in a divided world. Hammarskjöld once said, "The pursuit of peace and progress cannot end in a few years. It must go on for generations." His tragic death in 1961 plane crash cut his mission short, but his legacy endures as the embodiment of integrity and moral courage in global service. Amid the ideological storms of the Cold War, Zhou Enlai, China's first premier and foreign minister, became a master of quiet diplomacy. He represented China at the Bandung Conference, bringing together newly independent Asian and African nations in a vision of unity beyond colonial power structures. Known for his calm demeanor and calculated patience, Zhou skillfully navigated tensions between East and West, ensuring China's growing influence on the global stage. He proved that diplomacy doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers and the world listens. Eleanor Roosevelt transformed from First Lady to one of the most influential human rights advocates of the 20th century. As the U.S. delegate to the United Nations, she chaired the drafting of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document that remains the moral foundation for global justice and equality. Her diplomacy was deeply human, not about borders or ideologies, but about dignity. Roosevelt once said, "Where, after all, do universal human rights begin? In small places close to home." Her work redefined diplomacy itself, proving that compassion too is a form of power. From Metternich's balance to Roosevelt's compassion, these 5 diplomats reshaped history through strategy, empathy, and intellect. Their legacies remind us that true diplomacy isn't about dominance, but about dialogue. It's the strength to listen, the courage to compromise, and the vision to build peace when conflict seems inevitable. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to keep exploring the fascinating world of diplomacy with me.